Welcome into Fantasy Unclean. I am your host, Rich Fiddler, joined as always by Scott Robley and,
not Frodo Carvel.
Not Frodo Carvel.
He's being a little bitch right now.
He's got a headache.
He's got a headache. He does have a headache, and I don't care. I don't care.
Same thing you tell your wife.
Nice. All right. Hey, fuck you, man. Oh, cool. Jen.
Leaving us out to dry?
Jennifer's out here tweeting at us like we're dweebs. Jerk.
Rude.
So Frodo's being a little bitch, getting a headache, and
He's not even watching.
He's not even watching yet. Yeah, right. We watch him on his streams. He doesn't watch us on his own stream when he's not on it. I don't know. Who cares? We don't have a lot to talk about today.
There's just not a lot to talk about.
There is a little bit to talk about. We had dude died today, actually.
I did read that.
Yeah,
cornerback originally drafted from the Vikings, now was on the Cardinals.
Yeah, so Jeff Gladney, 2020 first round pick.
Yep.
So he got into a car accident early this morning, 2:30 in the morning. It sounds like he clipped somebody from behind, and then, I don't know. It was him and one other person in the car. I don't know how the other person did.
Yeah,
the other two people are fine, but no injuries. But who he hit, but Anyway, that's really sad. Obviously, we saw Maverick today. That's cool.
We did. It was a very, very, very entertaining movie.
Spoiler alert. There's some jets, and they're awesome. Like, super awesome.
It's true.
Like, it was a strong balance of nostalgic, like, pull.
Yeah.
They did went as far as even using clips. I think they went a little heavy on the goose thing. Like,
they did.
Like I get that that's, like, a driving point, in the story.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, he died a long time ago. We were sad, and we're sad about it again today. But I was more sad. Well, I can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it.
I don't want to be that.
It's only been a couple of days
There are other things that I want to talk about that we can't talk about. What's the timeline on a movie? Out of theaters, can you start, or does it have to be like a month out on video, on Scream, in Blockbuster?
Nothing's out on video anymore.
Nothing's out on video.
Unless it's Prime Video, but that's the only thing that I've ever had on video. Otherwise, it doesn't count. I don't know what the timeline is,
because it's different than it used to be.
Yeah.
Whatever it is now, there's an expectation that you can't spoil something.
Except that most people want to spoil everything before a movie's even out.
Right. In fact, we were actually disappointed because we saw Jurassic Park.
So disappointed.
We saw Jurassic Park preview today.
The trailer. And we haven't watched a single thing.
Avoided it this whole time. And we ended up seeing it.
Because we actually are going to see it next week.
Yes, we are. Oh, yeah. Jurassic Park 1.
The OG.
Immediately followed by the
Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, is that a 2-part movie or is it a single part?
I think it's just a single part.
3-hour, hopefully, movie. Because there's a lot.
So we start off with the nostalgia, kind of like we did today.
Yeah, right.
And then
oh my God, it's like Hollywood has figured out.
And then we go into
formula.
the brand new movie for Jurassic World next Thursday, and I'm super stoked to go see that.
Yeah. Very excited to see that, especially now that I know that. I mean, like, it's not that the trailer was disappointing. In fact, it
wasn't at all.
It wasn't disappointing in the least bit. But it was. I was going to see the movie 100%, no matter what.
Yeah.
So
I kind of wanted to be left in suspense and not know anything about it.
I'm thinking about going in cosplay. I'm not lying at all when I say this. I'm thinking about trying to figure out a good cosplay to go see the first and the second one.
I'm pretty sure they'll frown on you if you walk in with a T-Rex costume, one of the inflatable ones.
I don't think they will. I think they'll be like, that dude
The people behind you might frown on you.
Ooh, good point. We get our tickets already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. I don't think I'm in. Oh, I think I am in the back row.
Oh, perfect.
I could totally T-Rex it the whole movie. Except they're going to hate that little hum of the fan on there. And plus 2 movies back to back. I can't fart for 2 movies.
Yeah, that'd be bad for you.
Like, that's not gonna
It's
happen.
tough to eat popcorn too.
Yeah, right. Oh shit. Yeah, again, that's deal breaker.
Yeah, that's it. You'll just have to go in the Goldblum.
Yeah, right. That's it. I'll have to just go fully down to here. Oh, I don't have the man hair for this. I just don't I've got like a respectable chest bush. Is that a thing? Is that you call that the palm? Maybe. But I've got a respectable amount of hair here, but I don't have
Not enough for the Goldblum.
not for the Goldblum. No. Plus, let's face it, I do not have that sexual magnetism. Yeah. So okay. So
Football.
Okay. So that picture for the Dodgers got popped for or popped. He got banned for 2 years. Trevor Bauer for the Dodgers got banned. Got a 350 game suspension basically.
Yep.
That or 380 game suspension that says because he has allegations of rape against him.
But one, isn't it?
It's no, it's a couple.
Okay.
3 total victims.
Okay.
But one of the it's horrendous the crime that he is apparently to have committed. Rape and it was bad. It was bad. There's no we don't need to talk about that. It was very, very bad. The point that I'm bringing this up on is there were 3 victims of a horrific crime. And now now the NFL has to compare that to Deshaun Watson.
In his 22 counts of much lesser degree, but 22
the claims themselves. Let's not talk about the victims have talked about what has happened to them, and to a degree, they did not get raped in the ass.
Correct,
and that's very important. So Bauer, he got suspended for 2 years. The NFL is now looking at that as sort of a. I saw some people calling for worse. I saw some people calling for saying that this was overkill, and and I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that Deshaun Watson is much less likely to play this year than he was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, prior to that ruling, for sure. I know that there was a lot that came out about that, and in the sense that the NFL can't just turn a blind eye to it because, I mean, let's face it, the NFL is the king of sports here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I saw a stat the other day. The least watch game for the NFL beat the most watched Lakers game this year.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Like throughout the entire year.
Okay.
Which tells you something.
Yeah. And it's not like this guy plays for a small club. I mean, he's not playing for the A's. He's playing for the Dodgers. This is the second most expensive team in the league.
Yes. That gets a lot of airtime.
They get a lot of airtime. They're the reigning champion?
No, Braves were last year.
Yes, Braves were last year. That's right. Because Brandon just took too much. Took everything. You took everything, Brandon.
Yeah.
You got all of the champions.
Except for the 49ers.
Except for the 49ers. But you guys did make the NFC Championship game.
We did.
Which is respectable.
Yeah.
We have not done that.
Oh.
No, we have not.
Think Drew Lock's going to take you all the way?
No. What do we think about Baker Mayfield here? So it's come out now that the Browns are willing to pay up to like $10 million.
I don't think he gets traded. I don't think he gets traded until after the Deshaun Watson penalty comes out.
Okay, because the Browns are going to keep him.
Yeah.
For as long as possible. If
basically for another year at least.
Okay, so if you're Mayfield, what do? Like, this team is just fucking spit in your face for this guy that is about to be in trouble for, violating 22 women.
Yeah, when Baker requested to be let go after they first started looking.
Right, after it had become very serious that they were taking Deshaun if they could.
Right.
So now they took Deshaun. They paid Deshaun. I mean, this is Baker Mayfield being the most successful Browns quarterback in the last 30 years, 25 at least.
Yeah.
And what they said is we don't have confidence in you at all to do this job. So we're going to pay him a record amount of money. And then when he's out because he did what he did and you guys gave him that money, you guys are then going to turn around and ask Baker Mayfield,
hey, will you still play for us?
Will you still play for us this year? I mean,
Yeah.
like we just need you one more year to step in.
Well, especially since Deshaun took the entire offense
Yes.
to Cabo somewhere.
Yeah, Mexico or
somewhere.
something. Yeah.
Actually, it might have been even more expensive than that.
I think it was.
I think it was like the Maldives or something
Yeah,
like
probably.
that.
Well,
Nonetheless,
highest contract ever.
took the entire offense except for Baker Mayfield. So, because for
To
a
be
team,
fair,
team building,
did Baker Mayfield get an invite?
I don't think he actually even got an invite
Probably.
from what I saw.
And if I'm being honest, I'm not sure that I'm Deshaun Watson sending Baker Mayfield an invite.
No.
I mean, maybe an apology, like an apology massage or something. Like, hey, man, I'm really sorry. This girl's awesome. She won't tell. No?
That's fine.
Okay,
It's
all right.
fine.
So, I don't know. What else happened this week? So, I guess to wrap that up, I think Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended for a minimum of a year. And it'll be
I've seen so many varying reports, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I think what it's going to be is what do they call it? Not an undefined suspension, unending. What is the goddamn term I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I just had it, and then you said that, and I totally lost it.
Jen, correct me.
Not.
What are we? It's such an easy word.
It
We
is.
know this word. We're not idiot. Well, it says right there we're idiots.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I've gone so far into the woods now. I've lost my train of thought.
Nonetheless, it could be that he's just
Indefinite.
Yeah, he's got
Suspended
it
indefinitely.
Yeah.
See, I know words. You're welcome.
Which
Okay.
could be for a year, could
be
be,
for a year.
longer,
And that's
could
what I
be-
think.
yeah.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to do an indefinite suspension with the expectation that it's going to be a year, but that's going to allow for a year of courtroom proceedings to come out, at which point they will know more information and then be able to.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of people talking about how he should get time served because he sat out last year, and that's utter bullshit because he sat out.
He
last
sat
year.
out on his own,
Yeah.
and he still got paid because the Texans went, I won't, screw it, we'll just still pay him anyways.
Yeah, because they had the best GM in the world who said, we're going to get everything for this guy.
Yeah.
And then he got everything for this guy because the Browns are a completely dysfunctional organization. Dynasty. Okay, so we're talking about Dynasty. Right now, this is obviously we're kind of in the dead lull between.
OTA's just started, so at least there is football news.
We are getting some of
starting
that
to
stuff.
trickle in.
Turns out every rookie ever is awesome.
Yep.
And probably going to be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so-
that's facts. And every rookie this year is better than every rookie like previously that was ever in the league.
That's true. I've heard that as
Yeah.
well, that all of them are better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess kind of a little bit of what I heard this week on a couple of other different podcasts on ESPN and obviously footballers. One of the things that I actually heard that was a good through line this year this week was talking about the type of team that you're in right now. There are only two types of dynasty teams. You are either all in it to win it this year, or you are in rebuild. And to go into this time period of the year, you need to know which one of those teams you are.
Right.
So if you're in a rebuild, the example that I heard was if you're in a rebuild and you've got Christian McCaffrey, you have no business having Christian McCaffrey. So you need to trade him now and get something out of him, or hang on to him until his value peaks, and then.
Yeah, like week 3, right before he
Right.
gets injured again.
Yep, exactly. So
When he's put up 3 games of 30-plus points, because that's what he does when he's on the field.
I'm still so surprised to see what people are ranking him right now. He's still, I think, I don't think he's top 5 in Dynasty, but he is top 10 in Dynasty rankings right now. And that's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I have a hard time like looking at him even in a redraft league in the top 5 just because he's had 2 completely like
Lost
bum
season.
years
Yep.
other than I mean,
The
he
games
went
he was
down in
there.
week 3 of last year, still put up I think 25 points or whatever in that game. But
Yep.
so when he plays, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But this is going on a very long period of time with no playing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like if
Don't get me wrong. If I'm sitting at 4
yeah,
in a redraft and CMC's still on the board, I'm going to have a really hard time not taking him.
right. But if you go out of the last 3 seasons, he's played something like 16 games or 17 or maybe even 20 games, but not 25 games out of the last 3 seasons.
Right. But
don't-
if he somehow does play, I mean, is he not the lock one on like RB1?
Exactly. And so now and now you've got yeah, if he plays a 16-game season, he has the greatest chance of being the RB 101.
Yeah, like if you had a guarantee that CMC and Derrick Henry are going to play all year long, CMC is going to smash Derrick Henry.
Yes.
In the sense that he's going to have so much more passing work.
Right. Derrick Henry's another guy that's getting sort of fried this offseason because he had 3 injured games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like how many games did he lose this last season? It was like 8.
Because he went down in week 8.
Okay, so he was down for 9 games.
Yeah.
Well, he was down for 9 games because he was active for
That's
the
true.
last game,
Well, and he also
and then he played a couple postseason.
well he played the postseason game. He
The
wasn't back.
postgame.
He wasn't back in for the regular season.
Yeah, I think they had activated him, but he was a healthy
they'd already
scratch
they'd
or
already
whatever.
had the 1 seed locked.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right.
So
Okay.
they didn't play him at all.
But Derrick Henry, I mean, a lot of people are shitting on him this year, and I don't see it. Like, I'm really high on Derrick Henry this year, especially in a redraft league. In Dynasty, I think he peaked.
I do
week
want to
7
see
last
some
year.
training from like actual like team drills, team play,
Yeah.
and just make sure he doesn't still have that limp that he did. And now obviously he had a Playton issue, but is he
Right.
still playing with a
Right?
Playton
Does he
issue?
need to have the plate in the shoe anymore? We haven't seen a lot of off-season footage from him.
Yeah.
So
And we probably won't until preseason.
right, especially if the foot is not exactly
Right.
perfect.
So like, because they're obviously not going to push it.
Did I see that Kittle was injured? I saw something that said that Shanahan. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to be breaking this news to you. It's not bad, but they talked about how he had that they were not expecting him to be active for the off-season program, the OTAs, while him and one other guy because they had some lower body.
I wonder if he had some cleanup work done over the postseason.
Maybe,
'Cause,
but they didn't say that. They said
he's doing tight end university here pretty soon.
Right. Okay, so we'll see some footage there.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's
He's just
specifically
not doing OTAs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it was specifically
been
said.
there.
It was specifically said that he's not active because of an injury.
Yeah, and I don't
So-
know. He's been there. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on that.
Yeah, I think I only saw like a Twitter thread about it, so maybe it's not so hot. But yeah, I guess we'll see that. Okay, so I guess my final subject that I wanted to talk about today was I wanted to talk about Ezekiel Elliott because I know how much you love Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
People are still so high on Tony Pollard, and I'm not.
I saw draft rankings, and Tony Pollard was, I want to say, 1 spot ahead of Zeke.
That's what I've been seeing a lot of. Yeah. I'm gonna pull up the ADPs right now, but yeah.
And I will be 100% honest. If I am sitting there and I'm going for my, because I think I saw that they were like 18 or 19. Like
Yeah, that's,
18 and 19.
I saw 19 and 20. Let me see here.
So let's see where he's actually being drafted.
I'm looking at here. Hang on just a second. I'm in. No, I am in 2022. Zeke. He might be falling right now. They weren't at. All right, let me look.
Yeah, because I didn't see him in the first,
He's
35
He's
people.
on 39 overall. Oh, RB19. That's what we were remembering.
Okay.
RB19. That's crazy to me.
If I'm looking at Zeke in solid third round, I'm picking him up.
Yeah. Tony Pollard. Okay, so right now on Fantasy Pros, he's way behind. I think on Sleeper, I've been seeing that they've been going back to back. Maybe it's just because I'm looking at PPR right now, but so here's my argument for Zeke. Zeke is he had himself a really tough year, and he has been hard to predict over the long haul of a season for the last 2 years now.
Right.
But both of those years have had injuries. Last year specifically had an injury that they were not talking about most of the time. I still don't understand how that you can do that because there are medical reports that have to come out. We're supposed to hear about it, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year, we inevitably hear that somebody was dealing with something all season long, but it never came up on a report.
Yeah, it never actually came out.
So I don't actually understand the rules behind that. But okay, so next year they're done with Zeke, or at the very least they're done with his contract because they can get out of it next year for nothing.
So he has one more year.
Yes, this year he is locked in because they're so heavy cap invested in him. But
so
next year,
use the shit out of him is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, is that they've got 1 year left on him, on a guy that is not going to get a big next contract. No. Nobody's going to pay him a boatload now.
There's no way he's going to be on the Cowboys after this year unless he has just a monster year.
If he has a monster year and then he takes an incentive-based contract, I mean, I don't see. But the Cowboys are one of the teams that have, and the Giants and the Panthers have all proven that you can't put that much asset into your running back position, which is a very fragile position.
Yeah.
So Steelers, they're kind of in this new mode of we're going to get a new guy in there every 3-4 years and never pay a second contract. So Zeke, they own him for another year. This to me screams high usage as long as they can. Maybe even it's only the first 8 weeks of the season because he's been so injury prone, but still I would take him much earlier than RB19.
He's still got a pretty hefty. Now it's not the same. This year it would be a $30 million dead cap. Next year it's a $12 million dead cap.
Yeah, so that's a sizable one, but it's a third of this year.
Yes, and then it would be $6 million and then $1.7 million.
Yeah,
in 2025. So
I don't see them staying with this contract next year because they're so cash strapped as it is that I can't see them hanging on to this one. So if they get rid of him and they know that now, then they're going to use the hell out of him.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how they actually did this contract.
They made it third year heavy, I think, right?
Kind of.
Because the mentality behind that is if you give somebody a lot of money and then you put a lot of that on the third year or the fourth year, that means that they have to keep you through that. That shows longevity and trust and all that. Somebody just went through this. I want to say it was Diggs. No, it was Von Miller. Miller
so basically they have a potential out going into the 2023 year. It's a 4-year, $50 million deal with an $11.8 million cap hit or dead cap hit.
In 23?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way they did this contract, I don't know what it was guaranteed. Oh, $50 million guaranteed. So
yeah.
I don't even know how that signing. I don't know how this contract works because it doesn't.
So hard to do. decipher.
All of these don't add up to 50 million before 2023, so I don't really understand it. Somewhere along the lines, maybe with
There's signing bonuses.
maybe
in
with
there.
the options added in, maybe that's enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, if he was actually still on in 2025 and 2026, because that's what this contract's actually for, he'd be making a $15 million base salary in 2025 and a $16 million in 2026.
And
obviously he's not on there.
He's not making those.
No.
He's not going to make those. So this is the year of Zeke, where if I'm hanging on to Zeke, if I've got Zeke right now and I can dump him week 6 after he's had a strong start to the season, I am absolutely doing that. So I have this. So,
like that one time you did that last year?
Yeah, that one time that I did that last year. I really, really like the idea, jumping back to this whole you're in it to win it now, or you are rebuilding. What would be perfect is to stay competitive year in and year out, but that's not likely to happen.
Yeah.
That flows straight down from the NFL. You're not likely to be, unless you can take advantage of certain situations consistently.
Yeah, the thing is, it's tough. It's tough when you're in a dynasty, because unless you are an extremely active player or you get super lucky in the minuscule free agents that are hardly ever of value in dynasty.
Right.
I mean, occasionally there's one or two a year that in Dynasty that come out, but the problem is with most stuff in Dynasty, they're all picked up.
Yep.
So unless you get super lucky with that, at some point your team's going to age out. And it's tough to, unless you're hitting on all of your draft picks.
Right. Unless right. I mean, this is the Seahawk problem, right? Is they stopped hitting on those draft picks, and then they had to replace with veterans.
Yeah.
Who age out all the time.
Yeah.
Or injure out all the time.
Yep.
So right now, you've got Breece Hall still going number 1 overall in PPR. Drake London has a pretty firm grab on that number 2 spot right now. Garrett Wilson after that for the Jets. Then Treylon Burks, Tennessee. Kenneth Walker, Seattle. Jameson Williams, Detroit. Those 2 guys back to back right there. And I like that for the 5 and 6 position, because the 5 and 6 position in a dynasty league, you're not likely a contender, but you'll have a shot.
Right.
But you're not in a full rebuild because you can win most of your games.
Right.
So that 5-6 spot, I actually really like Kenneth Walker and Jameson Williams.
Well, the thing is, if you're in that 5-6 spot, you could have been a dominant team last year.
Yep.
And just had a shit matchup in the playoffs.
You just fall flat at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick side note: I've seen these guys that are. There's a lot of these leagues out there that do a 2 game a week. They play against the bottom half. So if you're in the top half of the league in scoring that week, you get a win. If you won your game, you get a second win.
Yep, I've seen
and
those.
So that evens out. That's supposed to even out the guys that have
there's
good run.
There's those players that will finish second in points on the week.
Yep.
3 weeks in a row.
Yep.
But they go against the number 1 team those 3 weeks.
Inevitably, it happens
and it
every
is
year.
So frustrating.
It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
I would rather get blown out than be the second place team.
Yeah.
In points and lose.
Yeah, I want to know. I mean, look, if I have to lose, if I know that I'm going to take a loss, if it's Monday and I know that I'm going to lose, or if it's Tuesday and I know that I lost, I would have rather have known that Thursday night when their guy, Alvin Kamara, goes off and hits 6 touchdowns on a Thursday night. That's a quick nail to the base of the skull.
Yeah.
Call it done.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah, it keeps you from that last minute watching that Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Like freaking out through your house when you're trying to make the playoffs.
Right.
And you're like, I need one more pass for 5 yards, and nothing is coming that way.
Yeah. We don't have much else. Anything else right now?
There was a big blow up with Javon Kinlaw. and Grant Cohn.
Fuck, I forgot about this.
Yeah, it's kind of died down, and he's still. I don't know if he's been back in the building.
Yeah.
But he's been back to OTAs at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and he's still
Kinlaw
covering.
or Crone?
Whose side am I on?
No. Are they both back?
Oh, they're both back.
They're both back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a big Twitter blow up. Grant Cohn, who is a beat writer for.
Let me actually introduce this because I'm a fresh eyes person,
Okay, go ahead.
and I didn't know the backstory. And so this is important because a lot of times what we're seeing the 5-minute clip of something that's a much bigger story. And this has been my fear with the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, right? Is I'm getting sold a story, and that story is wildly entertaining, but that story definitely paints Johnny Depp in a much better light than Amber Heard.
Well, turds do speak loudly,
Turds do speak loudly.
especially when left in a bed.
Right. Specifically when left in a bed.
Yeah.
I think that might be the loudest a turd can be.
I think so.
I mean, so
other than like on a chest.
OBJ, how far are you falling? They're having there's a confrontation of some kind in a locker room. And that's all I heard about at first. And then I watched the video, which is a 5-minute video, and I don't really know these guys. I know the writer only because I know the name, but I don't know much about him. I've seen an article or two, I'm sure, but I couldn't name you a single one of them. I know Javon Kinlaw because he was last year's first round.
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, first round, and he's been a little bit of a disappointment so far. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I know about these guys. And then I watched this interview, or I should say a 5-minute clip of a much greater interview. And in this interview, Javon Kinlaw looks like a Neanderthal. And they're having an argument.
Grant could have played this off in a way that made him look way better than Kinlaw.
Yes, he could have. And from the outsider third-person point of view, it looked like Grant was a little antagonistic, but not super antagonistic, and just kind of wanted to move on past the name calling and the thug talking, all
Correct,
of that, the chest thumping and things like that, and the chewing of.
The nonstop eating was so bad.
The nonstop open mouth, like popcorn or something eating of Javon Kinlaw was so.
And just continuously saying, my balls are bigger than yours.
Yeah. It was so uncomfortable and so upsetting. And so from my point of view, I send this out to the guys and I'm like, hey, look at this idiot, right? Like his Javon Kinlaw looks like an idiot. Like there's no question about it. He does not get a clear point across. He does not. He's not well-spoken, and most importantly, he's spewing chunks of food through my screen into my face, and it was so off-putting. And so I'm like, look at this fucker, he's being weird. Your team's falling apart, ha 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 ha. And then Rick kind of filled me in on a little bit of the backstory, which is
right. So Grant Cohn is a beat writer, as I said, for the 49ers. So he's credentialed press. He is in media. He's in there after every game. He's in there before the games. He's talking to these players all the time. He is your standard Twitter press dude. He's
the beat writer.
He's there to get the clicks. Mm-hmm. He's there to have the headline that makes people go, oh, this is intriguing. I want to read this.
Our controversy is that I really don't like Deshaun Watson. His controversy is to make everybody on the team look like an asshole and that they're inept.
Yes.
All under the guise of my dad was a genius at this, and I learned from the best, and nobody ever questioned him. And
the issue is, it's like I saw a lot of his stuff on Twitter, and I actually ended up just muting him completely on Twitter because it just got annoying. You would think for a team that you are basically getting paid from, because he's not really following anybody else.
Right.
It's just the 49ers, so that is his income. he does nothing but shit on everybody in the team for the most part.
Right.
Like every once in a while it's a positive story, but most of the time it's just everything that you could possibly be negative. And with Javon Kinlaw, he's been injury prone.
Yeah.
He's struggled with play. He's struggled with the transition to the NFL. So it hasn't been smooth sailing for him. And
Right.
Grant Cohn has taken advantage of that and used multiple things, and he made himself look really bad
Right.
in another video that he did that was, I don't know, like 3 or 4 minutes long.
Yep.
After the practices when nobody's on the field, he's standing out on the field and saying, oh, I don't know, what was it, one of the 100 things I said negatively about him that pissed him off?
Yeah.
And was talking about how he thought he was going to get hit and be able to retire.
That was the worst part to me was, when he was asked, were you scared? And yeah, you were. This is Javon Kinlaw, and he's chest to chest with you in the weight room. Like, yeah, fucking everybody's scared. The only person not scared, maybe, no, everyone would be scared.
Aaron Donald probably would.
Aaron Donald is not scared of anything.
Yeah.
Except for someday running into alternate universe Aaron Donald.
True.
So yes, first you were scared, and that's okay to say that. You're not less of a man. You're just literally less of a man than Javon Kinlaw. That dude is a beast.
Yeah.
Even if he's injured.
Yeah.
And your peak Cone.
Yeah.
Cone, not Crone.
Cone.
Cohn. So even if Kinlaw is injured and Cone is on the best peak shape of his life, no chance. No chance whatsoever. So first, he was scared. Second, he said not only was he not scared, but he was like, I'm about to get hit. I'm about to make $1 million. I'm about to be a millionaire off of this.
Yeah.
And like proud that he was going to egg somebody on. A kid, by the way. This kid is 23, 24.
Yeah.
And coming off of the worst 2 years of his life, because not only is he supposed to be a first round guy, but then he's failing at it. Mm-hmm. Certainly to his eyes, he's failing at it. And so this adult man bullied this kid to the point where the kid was just gonna hit him, and he was proud of that.
And that's that whole video, that 4 or 5 minute whatever it was clip of him saying this turned everything from being on Javon Kinlaw back onto him. Players have come out and said, like, how do we have this credentialed person that is literally saying he wants to antagonize somebody enough to get them to hit him?
He's the TMZ paparazzi asshole
of
an NFL locker room.
Yeah, I mean,
now the NFL, so we were talking about this off air, that the 49ers should not pull his press credentials. They can't do that. It doesn't
seem like that's going to happen. It's been a week now since the whole thing happened, and all of a sudden it just quieted down.
And it's not going to make them look good. It's not going to make Cone look worse.
Right.
All it's going to do is feed into the narrative that Cone is the victim here, and that free press is in jeopardy. When what they really should do is, if the guy doesn't actually respect anybody in the office, not that he's saying bad things about the team, but if he actually shows the disrespect that he showed Kinlaw, then nobody should do interviews with him. Nobody should answer his questions. They should just go full Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here to not get fined. And then answer the next guy's question. And then answer the next guy's question. And then nobody give him a one-on-one. Kill the guy's career in your locker room.
Right.
Don't kick him out of the club because he was a mean guy.
Right.
That's not going to do anybody good. Nobody looks good. He looks better.
Right.
But if you put him in there and point out that he's a piece of shit.
I thought it was a funny idea.
I think it's great. I think it would be the way to do it, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know I was just looking things up a little bit ago about it, and he's still making videos on the team. He's got a bunch of them out this week, so he's still obviously
still reporting on them.
Still reporting, still connected to the team.
Yeah.
These videos.
Do you remember who he writes for? Is he just an independent?
I think he's just an independent.
Okay.
So,
Trent Trent something of the Independent.
Trent.
Trent Wilson? Trent. Oh my God, I gotta look it up.
Damn it. We were just watching this.
Just watching Lasso. Trent
Krim? Trent Krim?
Trent Krim. That sounds right. Yep. Trent Krim. We're good.
Trent Krim, the Independent.
Nice. All right, so Trent Krim, the Independent. Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna come up with our next show, or the one after that will be our recommendation show, and we'll talk about platforms, things like that.
Yep.
Different. We'll go through different leagues. This will be our sort of our newbie podcast, so that way everybody can kind of get an idea of how to play, what kind of formats there are.
That'll be our mid-June podcast.
Yeah, so we'll be back in a couple of weeks. What is that? June
13th or 14th?
June something. June 13th. Yep. All right, so June 13th we'll be back. Hopefully we'll have all three of us back in the studio again. In the meantime, I don't know.
Oh, and we'll be able to talk Jurassic Park.
Ooh, we will be able to talk Jurassic Park.
Like, not a ton of.
Can I just spoil everything on that?
Yes.
We just put that now, like, don't watch next week's episode or 2 weeks from now, because it will be the spoiler episode. I mean, honestly, I'll just put it right there. That'll be the name of the episode. Spoiler, Jurassic Park. Don't listen.
Yeah.
And then we can just talk about Jurassic Park.
The
whole show, because that's all I'm going to want to talk about. So
that's true.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. There's not a whole lot going on.
All right. We'll see you guys a couple weeks.
Yep.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and share. Peace.